there is a lot to talk about and a lot to stew about. It's sort of a center topic for today, and I was debating as to here's the problem. I can muster enough give a crap to have a diatribe about one topic or another, but it's
Mm.
whether or not you guys care to see how long we can carry a conversation about a
Yeah.
certain topic. Because it's like, hey, let's talk about Supergirl because the trailer came out. And then it's like, I can wax for, a bit about the state of superheroes. And this is another example of the direction things are going. And then I'm like, yeah, but does Ross really care?
Uh, no. I mean, yes, but no. It's so weird. That movie, that this whole DC experiment with James Gunn we have going on is just so flat to me. I don't know about anybody else here.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting in a way, but it's just like, unfortunately, the most interesting aspects of it are the sycophants around it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
People who are swearing up and down that it's the best thing ever, that James Gunn is creating, and then people on the other side of it saying that it is the worst thing ever, and that, bring back Snyder or whatever. And sometimes those are a couple different people, like not everyone that thinks it's the worst thing ever think it's that he should come back, but still,
Yeah, oh, by the way, I played the Spider-Man games.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I mean, I have so much to say about those games, but it's like they've already been out for a few years. Like nobody cares about someone's opinion about the Spider-Man games. So it's like if I could get into it, but it's like who cares at this point? The first one's great. I didn't like the Miles Morales game, but then I played Spider-Man 2 and Miles Morales was good by comparison. And I have finished Spider-Man 2. Just to give you an idea of how disappointed I am in Spider-Man 2, he basically walks away at the end, and Miles is like, well, I got this, and he doesn't really have to be Spider-Man anymore. So yeah, it's all Miles Morales all the time. Insofar as with Spider-Man 3 coming, they basically from the voice actor, he said, yeah, he is going to be in it and he's going to be a big part. And it's like, what do you mean a big part of Spider-Man? just it's I hate it. I hate the game. It has redeemable elements, and I could wax profoundly about all of the. It's like there are elements that they do very well, and there are elements that they do, and then the biggest flaws are huge elements of the storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
How they present certain characters, how certain things are played out. Like, I'm not such a stickler that they can't change certain elements of the story. Sometimes those things need to be done, and it's so poorly done solely for the sake of pushing forward some sort of agenda about how you want to present certain people that it's bad. It's really bad. There's certain story stuff that works, but I basically beat this like 3 hours ago. So anyway,
yeah, I mean, just some of the stuff you told me about it, it just seems like so cliche and like so blandly, like so very obviously written by people who like they met their first, other minority person in college. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
It's just so like over the top cliched.
Well, and it reminds me the direction. It cannot be. We went through a massive transformation culturally in the West. And the West hit this big effort to redefine a lot of core traditional elements in Western culture. And one thing is certain aspects of storytelling. Now, I know it's the classic thing to have a deconstruction of characters, especially things like superheroes.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, we have a standard of a superhero, and then forever we had the anti-hero, the superhero who was edgy and wasn't quite a hero, and then we get deconstructions of heroes with the Homelander and the Boys and
Hmm.
the James Gunn project that's not going to end up really happening, probably not, with the Authority and
Oh
how many
god, yeah.
versions of deconstructions have we seen where they dismantle the concept of these heroes and take a cynical approach to these sorts of things. And it's like, take a classic Spider-Man story and it's like, well, I know he's the reason we're all here, but let's make it about Mary Jane, I guess, because we don't want her to be a passive element of the story. Or we'll make it about new Spider-Man because he's hip and cool and the kids like him.
Mm.
As opposed to make it about the one character. No, we'll tear him down and damage his character. And that's what we got a lot with Superman. It's like we lack the capacity to see. Here's a problem, and it was a problem with the Authority, and it's a problem with a lot of the heroic characters we get commonly nowadays. Is superheroes are supposed to represent an archetype of sorts. Now they don't always have the same characteristics, and they obviously have their different personalities, uh, uh, and we enjoy them for different reasons. But they are archetypes. Superheroes are meant to be aspirational,
Right.
inspirational. They're meant to be paragon examples of what we aspire to be. They're sort of a vicariously living through, watching these heroes step into places and righting things that are wrong. And oftentimes, when comic books would write characters, they would often express frustrations that the common man were feeling with society at large, and then the heroes would go about trying to fix it, um, sort of allowing you to vent your frustration vicariously through the character. And this has been a long running thing. The Shadow fought crime and corruption, in the early 20th century because those were problems in the early 20th century.
Right.
Daredevil fought corporate corruption and government corruption because those were things people were worried about and cared about in like the 80s and 90s and stuff. That's why Kingpin represented the sort of character he was, is because those were things people were concerned about. Um, we don't have heroes anymore, or at least we lack the capacity to understand what they are.
Mm.
I know that sounds like a cliche, like, well, we don't really get heroes, you guys. We don't understand what the. No, I don't think we do, because everything's taken as such a cynical. It's like we lack the capacity to be earnest and honest in approaching things. I was jokingly, but seriously at the same time. I was talking to, it might have been Ross or someone else earlier, where it was like I was watching a play and people just over enthusiastic doing the play. And it's
Mm.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever been that enthusiastic about anything I've ever done, let alone faking it and pretending it in a really bad play where you're just making faces like, oh yeah, it's like it. I don't think I've ever felt that enthusiastic in my normal life, let alone faking it for a screen.
Hmm.
And then extend that to sort of works of art. It's like we lack the capacity to be earnest and honest when we do things, and everything has to be taken with a side eye or cynically. It's like, hey, everybody's having fun. It's like, no, I'm gonna be all like sarcastic about everything that's happened. And this is bled into and the heart of the Supergirl trailer. Supergirl coming out on the heels of Superman, which did not go over well. I mean, it's fine if you like Superman, the movie by James Gunn, not the character. It did not go over well for most people, and it failed pretty poorly. I showed it to my mother, who's much more lenient, a lot less critical than I am, and she did not like that movie.
Uh-oh.
Well, and one thing I've said commonly when it comes to a lot of these IPs, and when you approach them, it's like you watch it and you go, if you use an IP, people carry expectations with them because they are already familiar with the brand and the characters, and damaging or not fulfilling those expectations will get a negative reaction most of the time. And people have expectations when it comes to Superman, what he does, what he acts like, how he's supposed to conduct himself. And even my mother is like, it didn't feel like Superman, or it didn't feel like a good Superman movie. And that's why it failed. And once again, instead of deconstructing characters, and I know I've heard this echoed in this last week by other creators, but I share the sentiment that we've deconstructed characters so much now, we almost have to reconstruct what it means to be a superhero. If we make an example is the Authority. The Authority was supposed to be a deconstruction of the Justice League, where they take a cynical view, an authoritarian view of what it means to have superheroes team up and blah blah blah. The problem is that's a movie you make 8 films in.
Right.
Or even longer.
Not only that, but the fact that it's such an obscure title, you really have to get people interested in the world that you've built with your films. And so you can't just jump right into the Authority and expect people to get it when you haven't shown them kind of the mirror image on the Justice League side, at least.
Well, that's what I was getting at, is that you can't, if you don't set a it's like Homelander doesn't work as a character if Superman doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
A cynical view of an overpowered character who could do whatever he wants to and no one can stop him doesn't work if Superman doesn't already exist in the zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm.
The Authority doesn't function if the Justice League isn't there, and you're already doing the deconstruction of the Justice League when the Justice League doesn't exist in your universe. And we're already jumping 5 steps down because you're like, well, it's too dorky. Some guy from the country just being good and trying to do good for goodness sake. And you could hear a little bit of that echoed in some of the interviews with James Gunn. Like he almost understood it, but he didn't know how to execute it because he doesn't exist in that world. He doesn't know how to be honest and earnest when it comes to just a decent superhero. He has to do the quirky ensemble cast sort of thing. It's like it can't just be Superman's movie. He has to add like other quirky characters with quirky personalities because he can't stay in Superman. And maybe it's because a lot of those people struggle with those sorts of characters, is because they either can't relate or it holds too much of a mirror on themselves where they look back and they're like, yeah, I'm a better person than you are. And James Gunn can't penetrate that character because he doesn't understand a person who's just good for the sake of being good. Everybody's got to have some sort of angle or cynically do it or have some sort of edge to them or major flaw. I mean, Superman's not flawless, but he's simply good for the sake of being good.
Right.
And if anybody has any reason to do whatever they want to and no one could stop them, it would be Superman. There were multiple stories exploring what would happen if Superman just went nuts and decided he was just going to impose himself on the rest of the world. Red Sun, the Injustice timeline stuff, where he just imposes his will on the rest of the world. Someone who's so strong that nobody could say no to him simply decides to let us live their lives and only intercedes when he wants to help. And it's like it's funny. It had this poll, not to crap on women, but I blame Silver. Where they asked a bunch of women what they would do if they had superpowers. And I'm not saying that this is necessarily all women, but it was this weird telling moment where it was like universally, all of them were like, well, I'm going to get revenge on like an ex-boyfriend or someone who wronged me. And it's like, you're not going to just be a good person and help people.
No, we become super villains.
Well, and I think that's sort of a modern sentiment of
Yeah,
if you've
I mean,
seen
it really is.
if you've seen Megamind, they give basically Superman powers to this one guy because he's trying to fabricate a superhero so he can be the villain. Megamind can be the villain. And they give it to this guy who goes around and starts robbing places because he's a piece of shit, because he's not a good person. And it's almost like even with that power, most people would go about abusing it, which is one of my story flaws that I have with Miles Morales as a character. He lacks a lot of personal motive that's not established very well. And you're like, well, in the comics, it's like, look, I'm dealing with the video games and his exposure in one of the movies. The reason why Spider-Man is who he is, Peter Parker is who he is because of his Uncle Ben. And his Uncle Ben instilling him certain values on how you should be as a person, and not just a person, but as a man, without any expectation of being a superhero, that you should conduct yourself like that simply because you're a man, and this is how you should act. Miles Morales didn't really get set up with those motives and stuff, so I struggle to find why he is doing what and it's like everybody goes, well, you get superpowers, you should do good. It's like, I don't know if that's the given.
Well, the thing is that if you really think about it, what that question that you brought up where they asked a bunch of women, if you got superpowers, what would you do? I think a lot of people, if they looked inward, if they actually, a lot of people are going to say, well, I'd be Superman and I would save the world. But I think a lot of people, if they really were honest with themselves, they would maybe toy around with, getting revenge on some people, doing doing those personal things they've never been able to do, rather than, the answer that everybody wants you to say is, I would be a good person and I would save the world. But I think a lot of people would fall back into that. I would get revenge.
Well,
I would get revenge on these slights that I perceive around me that have been done to me.
There's the aspirational, what you hope you would do with it, and the reality of maybe you would use it in a way that wouldn't be forthcoming, that I think the average person would find themselves hard tempted not to do. Cap Cruz has snuck into the chat, and she says, if I had superpowers, I think I just want to float around. Think about how peaceful. I could experience the best sunrises and sunsets. That's an interesting way to go about the massive power at your fingertips.
Just chilling, Just keep it real chill.
I'd go to space, hang out for a bit, be cool. Well, and it belies and that there's a reason why superheroes are so important to men. And I know I've cited this study before, but it's worth bringing up. They did a study where they had young boys and young girls play with toys. And the observation is that when young boys, let's say, get a Batman toy, they pretend to be Batman because they aspire to sort of the examples around them. And so they pretend to be Batman, and Batman goes around fighting crime and whatnot. And girls get Batman, and then they take Batman shopping, or he takes care of a baby, or, that sort of thing. Where girls sort of impose their personalities on sort of their escapism. Boys sort of try and adapt to the aspirational personality. And that's why superheroes are such a male-dominated thing. And I know the cliche is to sit here and go, but I'm a girl and I like superheroes. Look, I get it. There are exceptions.
Yeah.
You do realize that the exception doesn't make the rule, and the vast majority of boys, the vast majority of people into superheroes are boys for a reason. And guess what? You can like superheroes for the same reason you like boys like superheroes. Perfectly fine. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general, this is how we tend to approach storytelling.
I think another thing that we're kind of missing here is back when Superman was created, that was taught to young boys that you basically are a stand-up guy. You know what I mean? You are honest. You if you give your word, you do it. You help the downtrodden. You stand up for people who can't stand up for themselves. That's really not done anymore.
Well, no, and I suppose my biggest issue with how we present superheroes now is because they're so cynical. We're
Yeah,
passing on poor examples as to what it means to be an aspiration, what you should aspire to become. I mean,
yeah. You don't aspire to Deadpool.
no. Well, you don't. You shouldn't aspire to the supposed hero Venom or
Right.
even
Me neither.
Wolverine. Like Wolverine's not really a very aspirational, like Captain America is. You know, when they
Yeah,
first did Captain America, they didn't want to push him to the forefront so much because they didn't have confidence in the character because they thought it was too silly. Oh, he's
yeah,
Captain America. And it's like, if you take the character seriously and earnestly, people will come along with you because they
yeah.
like
Very
these
much so.
archetypes because you don't understand. I mean, in the basic Jungian way of philosophy, these represent aspects of what it means to be a human being. They are archetypes for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Captain America's too silly. He's probably one of the most popular superheroes right now around.
Yeah.
People love those movies. I think Captain America probably has the most consistent quality of movies, even over Iron Man. Like the Iron Man movies were kind of like up and down
Oh yeah.
as far as its quality.
Yeah.
And look, there have
Very
been
true.
female superheroes that I've liked in the comics, and I'm not opposed to female centered superhero movies. But the problem is usually men are looking for archetypes to use as examples so that they can live vicariously through the fighting crime that they don't get to do in their daily lives. Most of the time, guys who are the top of the alpha male hierarchy don't spend their time reading comic books. Those are usually the guys who aren't there, the nerdy guys who read comic books, because it's a way for them to feel like they're able to be more super than they normally are. Which reminds me of the horrible thing that they did. Oh, this is going to sound political. So during the Obama administration, when unemployment was really bad,
Uh-huh.
the unemployment office, whatever branch of the government that is, because superheroes were starting out and really hot at the moment, the Obama, the administration, to people going into where you get benefits for being unemployed, they were handing out capes, and the gimmick was even if you're unemployed, you're still super.
Oh.
Okay.
And I was like, imagine being a middle-aged guy who worked at a factory your whole life, going into the unemployment office and they're giving you capes.
Jeez, I would want to murder. I mean, that is infuriating, condescending as that.
Yeah.
Oh my
Seriously.
god.
They're like, what? People like superheroes right now?
Worst.
No, people like superheroes right now. They're super hot, Ross.
That is some kindergartner teacher came up with that.
Yeah, to give to the kids, and instead they're old men, and they're like, no.
I mean, I guess you could take it and give it to your kid, but yeah.
And so I think this problem has carried itself to where superheroes have been going as of late. It's like they lack the capacity to understand what superhero is supposed to be. And it's just sort of
Very true,
quirky,
yeah.
fun, stupid, sarcastic attitude. They've lost the plot and what they're really there to do. And it's like, whoa, we just have fun and they do cool like action stuff and they punch things and there's no feeling or context or meaning behind it. It's like, oh, okay, well, it all sucks and is stupid. Which brings us to the Supergirl trailer. I don't know how many of you've seen it.
I have seen it.
I've thought about it, but it really doesn't interest me in the slightest.
Well, that helps for a
Oh.
podcast where we talk about these things, Jason.
I know.
But the Supergirl trailer has come out. And the problem with Supergirl, as was presented in the Superman movie, is she's once again a cynical deconstruction of what it means to be a hero. She's not aspirational. Like you shouldn't want to be this person. She's not a good person. She is a drunk party girl who's upset and angry and she has trauma or whatever.
Mhm.
And it's like, how is this fun or something we should all want to, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
This isn't.
It's because it's so quirky and weird. Whoa.
Oh, and the trailer feels very James Gunn, even though he's not directing it. It's very James Gunn, where it's
Yeah,
like she's
very much so.
gone into Guardians of the Galaxy space and she's drunk and sarcastic and angry. And she has her stupid moments and she does stupid things. Oh, and as everybody got obsessed over, I'm not as obsessed over, but it's obviously not a great sign. With I guess she's fighting guys here. She's doing stuff. But in the beginning, she's got the worst dog that's ever existed. And it's peeing on a newspaper with the picture of Superman on it.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the trailer. Oh, and everybody's favorite. This is Krypton, which seemed like Krypton's supposed to have a red sun. This seems very yellow.
Well, that whole thing with the newspaper is very. You may not have noticed it, but your brain did.
Yeah.
You know, like, nice subliminal, subtle messaging. Very subtle.
Well, and the tagline for the movie is true justice and whatever.
Right.
Because she's a sarcastic girl, a 20-something party girl who goes and gets drunk and whatever. I don't have to have restrictions or accountability. Screw you guys.
I'm gonna go to a different planet to get drunk.
It's
That's
right.
my whole introduction.
Wait, I thought being a good person was punk rock. What happened?
It's
Oh,
not.
no.
It's not punk rock. James Gunn struggled with Superman. From what I heard, he found it too dorky or something. And I guess his gimmick was, well, it's punk rock to be good. That's how he approached. That's how he finally connected with the characters, through that and the dog, which is a weird way to connect with a superhero. I don't understand what it means to be a good person.
Yeah. Well, and especially where it's like, the dog? That dog's the worst thing ever. That
It's a
dog
terrible
sucks.
dog. It's a sucky dog.
Oh my god, just the worst.
Well, and that tells you why we have the movies we do have from James Gunn.
Yeah.
Or freaking the latest stupid show, the TV, John Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also horrific.
Peacemaker. Yeah.
Peacemaker. And that's also just really bad. And it's like, can you just make a show about somebody doing good?
No, we have to have awkward other Nazi universe. What do you mean?
Well, that's boring. So make it interesting. Be a good writer. And if you're not good enough writer to be able to understand how to present a character, then maybe this isn't for you.
Yeah, to say the least.
Maybe you should stick to ensemble, goofy, character stuff. Get a bunch of Chris Pratt's with attitude. Just do that a lot. Because you don't understand Superman. You don't understand what it means to be a good person or help somebody simply because it's the right thing to do. Apparently, you have to some sort of angle or attitude. Her attitude expressed in the trailer is that she's annoyed that she is also on the cover, but she doesn't get as much attention as Superman. Because she's also on the cover. Did you see her article? Yeah, Superman saves the world with this one thing, and her article is smaller and on the side, and it's like Supergirl saves cat. And it's like, well, first of all, you're on the cover for saving a cat.
Yeah.
So calm down, and you thought you should get more attention for saving this cat, is what you're telling me? So you're pissed off that you put in a modicum of effort and you don't get a lot of attention? Is this the character we're supposed to relate with? Oh, well, she has trauma. Her planet was destroyed. She was there for it. Her family's gone. She has trauma. It's okay to be a bad person when bad things have happened to you. Or you could rise above said circumstances and be inspirational. No, that's too difficult to understand, James Gunn. It baffles my mind what it means to be a decent person. I want credit in the newspaper. And if I don't get enough credit, then I'm pissed off. I'm going to go get drunk and probably have some squid monster put his eggs in me. Because that's the character they're representing. Am I not wrong?
No.
The drunk party girl who just goes and sleeps with people all over the place. She's got attitude, Ross. She's got attitude.
She's got so much too.
This is not the character from the comics. This is not how she acted or the type of person she is. Was she not raised better than this?
Apparently
No.
not. Not in
Apparently.
James Gunn's universe. Nobody was.
But here she is. I mean, she looks the part. She looks good enough for it. I hate her character. And this doesn't motivate me to see the movie.
Nope.
Because she's a bad character. Why would you see this? And don't sarcastically be like, well, it's bad. And no, there's a reason. Who would see this? Who would want to see this?
Millennials? People who kind of get that, understand that mindset?
So,
or maybe they're trying to get the wicked crowd.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
So white women who want to see a girl kick butt or something, who's sarcastic and drunk, are they trying to do a what's that stupid all-female comedy? It was like the bachelorette party. Whatever.
Oh, Bridesmaids?
Yeah. That crowd, is that what we're looking for? The bridesmaid crowd? Do you think those audiences cross over with superheroes?
No.
At any point.
Not enough to make it profitable. Not enough to make it profitable.
Are they
We kind of talked about this before, where we have they're trying to make a girl movie for guys. And this is not how you make a movie for guys. And this is not how you make a movie for girls either.
Well,
you can't really do a superhero movie for girls. It would be really hard.
And I think we've established multiple times in this podcast that men and women have different interests when it comes to their viewing stuff. And superheroes, well, and that and a lot of these studios take advantage or take for granted their audiences. And they just assume they have you in their pocket. Well, it's a superhero movie, men will go. And then they don't. And they're like, well, why aren't men coming to our movies anymore? And so instead of fixing that and understanding what you did wrong, chase the demographic that didn't care in the first place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chase the Wicked crowd or the Barbie crowd. Why? It's not going to work.
Because it's Supergirl. That's why. See, that's why. It has it in the title, right?
Because
Hello?
women are going to high five because now girls have their own superhero that they can, all flock to and appreciate.
Yes, that's what we all do when we infiltrate the male media entertainment. We high five and go, good job.
That's right.
And then
They
we
all-
leave and not see said product.
and then wear shirts that say the Force is female now.
Yeah.
Because it's ours. We took Star Wars. And then men stop watching in it. It's like, why aren't men watching Star Wars? You said it was a girl brand now. You said you didn't
And you
want
proved
us. And so we are not here. And look, it's a bad trailer. It's a bad character, and it's not something I'm interested in. There is a crazy scenario where this does good without me, but it will do it without me. And I think that's the problem. They're representing a character nobody like. She's actually a good character in the comic books.
Yeah.
And depending on which version you see and how she gets represented, there was a version where she sort of is a high school girl, and Kal-El is like having her go to high school, so she's having like high school trauma and stuff.
Oh
like,
my lord!
Like that's a movie you could do, but they don't want
Yeah.
to do that because that feels lesser. Like she's not as good as Superman. Well, if you can't make a good Superman movie anyway, why am I going to flock to the Supergirl movie who's going to be more balls than the Superman movie?
Yeah,
Who's going to
and-
give me a bad idea of what a female heroine should be? Anyway, go ahead, Ross.
And this all kind of like there's like some of this where there's no, like you said, there's no reason you couldn't do like a high school, like, I mean, make the Supergirl movie version of like Smallville. Why not? But see,
Yeah.
that would require a couple of things, like, oh, well, it's lesser than, which no, not inherently, and B, they'd have to have like a modest budget, which they I mean, Hollywood cannot help themselves.
No.
They are, it's impossible for them. They can't, but it's a big DC movie. It's like, yeah, but it's not one of your main characters. It ain't Batman or Superman. Are you nuts? Like, don't do this. Because it's still going to have a ridiculous budget.
If I don't spend $1 bajillion, I can't get $2 bajillion.
Uh-huh. If this movie was made for under $100 million before marketing, I will eat my shoes. I know it wasn't.
No.
Be prepared to not eat your shoes, Ross.
Yeah, like I feel very confident my shoes are safe, as is my stomach.
Well, and look at the outset of a new universe of stuff with the MCU, the emergence of the MCU. We get an ensemble Superman movie that lost money and a cynical Supergirl movie. Oh, we had a TV series with full frontal nudity and orgies.
and a black lady getting chased by white people.
Yeah, she went to the evil universe where the Yahtzees were.
Yeah.
With heavy social commentary. Is this a
Cat
good...
socks we're hiding.
You know, I know Endgame and Infinity War are like the biggest movies ever, right?
Yes.
Marvel was doing better when they regulated it to just a single hero movie to establish the character and have them doing things on their own instead of trying to put the cart before the horse and constantly moving towards the big ensemble thing. You know, the ensemble works when we've been living with these characters for a while now.
Yeah.
You know, we knew Iron Man through 3 movies before we got him in the big Avengers movie. We knew Captain America because he had an individual movie. We knew Thor. You have to start and get us to like your character and buy who they are and tell us who they are on their own. If you can't do just a Superman movie where Superman does Superman things, what makes me think you can't pull this off in the future? You can't even do Superman. Just
No, but
do
Red,
Superman.
Superman was a huge, rousing success, don't you know? I've been told on very good authority that it was that made $1 bajillion somehow, despite not making $1 bajillion.
You know who people liked in Superman? Mr. Terrific.
That's always a good sign when people identify more with the side character than the titular one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name. That's my biggest problem when I'm playing Spider-Man 2. It's like you can't just have Spider-Man. You have to have other Spider-Man. And also guess what Mary Jane has just as much to do, and she's just as important. She's strong and brave, and in fact, she's better. You're better than me, Mary Jane. He has this conversation with her. You're the one that holds this relationship together. I'm sorry, I'm always the mess and blah, blah. And it's like, oh my gosh. You have to elevate everybody around them. How many movies have we gotten where it has nothing to do with the person on the flippin' box?
Oh,
Ant-Man?
Too many.
Did Ant-Man have it? Like the second Ant-Man and the Wasp. Did Ant-Man's just a screw up? There's nothing super about him. He just gets the ability to get small, and we like him because he's quirky and friendly. Wasp is a better superhero than he is.
Yep.
How about Ant-Man Quantumania? His daughter's better than him. Why in the hell is Ant-Man even here then? Why are we even making this movie? Oh, they were going to make a Blade movie. Oh, sweet, I love Blade. Oh, it's going to mostly be about his daughters. Well, then what's the point? Why are we wasting our time? You can't even elevate the character on his own. You have to add other characters to elevate them off of the back of the character we're actually showing up for. I'm there for Spider-Man. Not all these other characters. Spider-Man. Stop trying to
go to a movie to see a male character.
Well, it's like a freaking Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Oh, well, he has a girl sidekick who's more important and has more interesting things to do. And also the villain is it's more of her movie. Even though she's a massive villain, has killed a bunch of people, we're going to act like she's not a horrible person who's committed a lot of murder. She's going to show up later at other shows like it's fine. It's almost like Doctor Strange doesn't even need to be here. What are we doing? Why even make a movie and put the guy in the box? Just be like, people around Doctor Strange, the film. Ant-Man's here, but it's mostly about his daughter. Just put that on the box. What a waste of time and money. An absurd amount of money. When you do these ensemble casts, it has nothing to do with the main character. It has everything to do with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You just distract from what you're trying to do. Superman's less super when he's surrounded by a bunch of other people that are just as good. He doesn't even save the poor country. Freaking sarcastic Green Lantern shows up and does it. They're holding flags of Superman, praying for Superman to save them, and he doesn't even show up. He's awkwardly fighting a better version of himself, who's also dumber for some reason.
Yeah.
And this is what we're supposed to think is set up for the new movies. James Gunn. You know, I'm not a director. I haven't done any of these things. You've got all of these accolades before me. And maybe I'm just some sort of guy on the internet, like, trying to tear down great men who are doing better things than me and much more creative and whatever. But you know what I am? I'm someone who knows how to make a damn story. And I could tell you, even though I've never written a movie or a book or a story, if it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not an artist, but I can tell you it. I'm not an artist, but I can tell you that painting shit. And even the amateurs might not know what's all involved when making these stuff, but they know what they like.
That's true.
And I don't like what you're making. I know about superheroes at the very least. I spent at least a good chunk of my life reading comic books and playing games with heroic characters, and I can watch Superman and be like, "This ain't it. This isn't it, James Gunn. Why are you even chosen for this job? Oh, well, you famously did the quirky character stuff with Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, look, that looks like we get with Supergirl, another Guardians of the Galaxy movie."
To be fair, Rhett, they were desperate, and he made one of the last things in MCU that made money. So
You're not wrong. But do you think if Superman did really well, we'd be talking about Warner being sold?
Probably not. No, at least not the film studio. Maybe they would be, slicing off the dead, like their game studios, maybe the TV stuff. But the film studios would be trying to stay afloat.
If Superman made $2 billion, could Warner turn to the people on their debt and be like, "Look, we're making good stuff and we're crawling out of the hole"?
Probably, or they at the very least they could get investors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, look, James Gunn's making some great stuff. Look at the future of the medium. Cap Cruz says you should write a movie and sell it to Abyss. They'll make anything, and the budget will be modest.
Oh, it's Asylum, I think is what she means.
I mean, you could take it poorly and be like, write a script and throw it into the abyss. Cthulhu will find it. Maybe he'll fund the film. Yeah, I don't know about that, but oftentimes it's easier to find the flaws in things than it is to create something on your own. Now, I'm not saying I couldn't write a script. It's just a lot harder than most people give credit to. I mean, look at Mr. Stuckman. He came out with a poorly written movie that he worked 10 years on.
Yeah.
10 years. You go, how could somebody work on a movie for 10 years? Well, he did. And the worst part of that movie, it was poorly written. The biggest accolade, it was decently directed.
Which, I mean, good for him on that. I mean, that's something to hang your hat on, certainly. I mean, there's a lot of directors that probably shouldn't write their own stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something in and of itself, genuinely, and good on him.
I saw that as a recommendation for people who are friends of his and critics who said maybe he should just not write his next movie.
Bum, 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 bum.
When you mentioned that, Superman is this character who has the power to do whatever he wants, and he lets people live their lives, and only steps in when needed. It did remind me of the power that a director has. I'm not saying that they use it that way. Most of the time, directors end up being, unbearable tyrants on their sets. But I mean, that he should look at his own job for inspiration here.
Yeah, well, I think that's what makes you have a fair point. I think that's what makes Superman so interesting, is because he could.
Yeah, he could,
but he doesn't. And it's like presenting a character that has so much power, he could do anything and no one could stop him, but he chooses not to. I mean, tempt him. Do the Jesus being tempted by Satan in the 40 days in the desert. Mm-hmm. Just someone trying to prompt him to take advantage of the fact that he's got all this power and no one could stop him, and still choose not to. That's a really interesting character study. What would a person do in that situation? Cap Crew says, I hate when I ruin my own joke. Asylum. Could have sworn it was Abyss. Well, you ruined it.
All good.
We can't go back. It is now permanently ensconced in the internet forever.
Forever.
So James Gunn says that Supergirl is a rock and roll take on Girl of Steel, really more of an anti-hero story. Well, we haven't got a hero, and now we've got an anti-hero.
I mean, anti-heroes have their place, but Supergirl isn't an anti-hero.
She is now.
Never has been.
She is now. Yeah.
Well, let's at least establish this right out the gate. Honoring how the character's already been established in the comics, and this is not that character.
Right.
So, I mean, we could spend forever being like, well, this is a horrible take of the character because the character is not supposed to be this. Well, this is not that character. She is sarcastic, drunk, shitty party girl who's rock and roll and an anti-hero. I don't like that character. I'm gonna put that out there. They had Blondie in the trailer because James Gunn can't do a movie without some sort of 80s, 90s rock, cue or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, instead of doing some self-examination when this movie comes out and fails, we already know what's going to happen.
Well, and this is based off of Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow. Just in case anyone's weren't a part of comic books or is not aware, Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King. Tom King in general, but that comic is considered widely to be really bad.
Yeah.
Like people hated it, and people think Tom King sucks.
Didn't he used to work for the CIA?
He was a recruiter for the CIA.
Oh, that's almost like the worst of the worst.
He was the one that wrote Batman, the story where he married Catwoman. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And he's such a petty piece of shit. Somebody leaked it and he destroyed her career.
What a dickhead.
Yeah,
because he has mommy issues and he has to write them into his comics.
Yeah, people have issues with Tom King. He's not good.
Nope.
Yeah, so it's based off a comic book that sold tens of thousands.
Ooh.
You know what really fascinates me about the whole situation here is that this is something that's been done not just once. This isn't the first time they've done it. That where they looked around and they said, you know what we really need to do? We need to do this story that everybody hated. You know what I mean? This is not the first time they've made this mistake.
Well,
and yet they still don't learn from it.
Well, Jason, most of the stuff that's come out that they've been basing stories off of with the past set of comic book movies, have been based off of more recent comics that are not successful.
Right.
The newer version of Captain Marvel has had her story rebooted like 4 times and her comic canceled because no one liked it. How about Miss Marvel?
Yep.
Yeah. Her comic's just not very popular.
Nope.
And it didn't sell.
And that's what I'm saying. It's fascinating to me that they sit down and they say, you know what? Nobody liked this. Let's make it into a movie. Everybody will love it. What?
Thor Love and Thunder. People really liked his powers being given to Natalie Portman's character in the comics.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big fans.
Oh, by the way, they hated that, and the comics didn't sell very well.
Oh.
Just because it was in the comics doesn't mean it was good.
Yeah. Well, especially because, I mean, and granted, people in Hollywood won't know this because they don't pay attention to anything, but they are basing movies off of comics that sold in numbers that 10 years earlier would have gotten them canceled.
Would have gotten them canceled in a second.
Yeah. But those are the more successful ones. Like, we're at that point.
But they have access to the ones that sold hundreds of thousands of copies. They have access to those stories.
They're so passe, Jason. I mean, come on.
I mean, we have the Odyssey. It's a book. It's not hard to follow the story. I guarantee you we're not getting the Odyssey in the new movie.
Oh, listen. Everyone's really excited for all the. Oh no! Everyone thinks it looks terrible. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. Look, I like Christopher Nolan. I think he's got very interesting takes on things. He is not the Messiah. he is not flawless when it comes to filmmaking.
No, and this movie in particular looks. I mean, the new Odyssey looks really bad to me. But
Yeah.
what can I say?
Hey, I liked Oppenheimer. I didn't love Oppenheimer, and it's got
Sure.
stupid, dull story stuff to it, and it drags on too long, and all these other problems. I like Tenet. It's not great though. I mean, how many other movies? I could go down the list of.
Well, Inception's the big one, right?
Yeah, I didn't like Inception.
I mean, everyone loved Dark Knight Rises. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, I thought Inception was up its own butt, and it was so dark it couldn't see where it was going.
What's the space one with McConaughey, man?
Oh yeah, Interstellar. Yeah, that was stupid. I didn't like Interstellar. And I know somebody's like, well, you just have bad taste. It's like, yeah, fine. That's fine. But I didn't like it. And it's like, well, you didn't get it. No, I understood. I understood the movie. Matthew McConaughey can act really well. I get it. He's really good.
He can cry so good at seeing 20 years go by.
Yeah, went back in time and was pushing books off the shelves. I get it. He went into the piano multiverse. Well, it's like he went into the time between time and could go back and like look at like stuff, and then he interceded by being the guy pushing the bookshelf off and it looked like they were piano strings. So I always thought it was like the piano multiverse, where he's just like he's on the other side of the strings.
Piano's all the way down.
Yeah. Just multicolored pianos because he went into a black hole or whatever.
Marty, I've become a piano, Marty.
Matt Damon gets all shitty because he was trapped on the planet. And time moves differently.
Douchey.
Yeah. And it's like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Interesting, not great. Boring.
Which is really funny.
And interesting, but not good.
My daughter took a film class as one of her electives. She's not going into film. She just had to take it because you have to fill those electives in college. And one of the movies they had them watch was 2001. And she watched it and she basically had the same reaction you did. It was like, interesting. Too long and boring.
I mean, it has it should be said. See, a good example of this sort of problem is like The Exorcist. The Exorcist works for a different audience from a different time period. Like us watching it today, it's just like, oh, it's okay. But at the time, you had never seen anything like that. People were coming out of the theater crying.
Oh yeah,
feeling like Satan had come and tickled their taint or something. Like the movie came across as just horrifying and influence. And 2001 did things that no other film had done, visually, storytelling wise. It came from a time when movies could take their time and present themselves in different ways. It's boring to us now, where we need endorphin hits every 5 seconds. Like heads should be exploding and someone should be punching somebody. I get it. It hit differently to other people. It's still quite a dull and long drawn out. Like the most interesting aspect of that story was really the AI going nuts. I don't really care for the rebooting of mankind and the monkeys punching the obelisk. Like I don't. I get it. He circles back around and he's in a bed looking at a baby and it's in space. I understand. but it does interesting stuff visually, and it asks interesting questions in a very dull way. But it's a triumph of filmmaking for the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we've said our piece. Everybody looking forward to the Supergirl?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it flopping.
Oh,
Well,
Can't
Jason's just a hater and wants movies to fail.
Yeah.
You know,
I
it would
can't wait
not
to burn
surprise
you in the
me.
theater. I hate it.
You know what?
It would not
I want it
It
to
would
be a
not
good
surprise
movie.
me.
I want it to be a good movie. I want whatever my impression is to be wrong, and she goes through this great journey of discovering to be a better person, and this is just her struggling with the destruction of her planet. It doesn't look like that's what's going to
That
happen.
would make a good movie.
But I want it
And-
to be
and I
good.
would- And I would like for that to happen. I don't think it's going to, and it would not surprise me if this gets mothballed like the Batwoman movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be funny. I don't think that will happen, but that would be really funny.
Imagine this is the last film of Gunn's universe.
Oh, of just Gunn in general ruined
Let's see.
professionally.
A new Batman movie's coming out. You can choose James Gunn, Bryan Singer,
Oh,
or J.J. Abrams.
oh no,
Who do you pick?
Rhett, I don't like who I'm gonna have to pick for that. I just want you to know.
Well, Bryan Singer can make movies. He might be a horrible pederast, but he can make movies.
I don't know if we'll be able to get him out of Israel to come do it, but you know, if we can make that work, he'll probably make the better movie. Sadly,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm not convinced J.J. Abrams can make good films.
no, I'm not.
We might
either.
get the Batman with lens flares. That would be interesting.
And James Gunn, he can't do a Batman. It's got to be Batman
No, he can't.
featuring 5 obscure Batman-related characters. Huntress. We're going to get Huntress in there.
The question.
The least favorite of the Robins, Damian Wayne, is supposed to show up in the James Gunn Batman movie. It's like, why Damian? He's the least favorite Robin. Damian Wayne? Why, James Gunn? Why?
Cool kid. Damien.
It's really funny
Yes.
that they did Jason Todd. Nobody liked him so much that he was killed. And yet Damian Wayne is hated even more.
You know, what's his name that played the Joker in the movie everybody hated? Who has a cult?
Oh, yeah.
Morbius.
Morbius.
Anyway,
Morbius.
they filmed hours of stuff for him that didn't show up in the movie.
Oh.
Hours of stuff. He's supposed to be Jason Todd, apparently.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Jason, so Silver, who's not aware, we've had multiple Robins. The original is Dick Grayson, who he used to be part of the Flying Graysons, and they were acrobats. And his parents died, and he turned to fighting crime, and Batman takes him in and adopts him. That's the classic Robin everybody's familiar with. Then we get Tim Drake, who was a great character, who was one of the few people who figured out who Batman was. And so he was pitched as this great detective. But he's the third one. And in between these, we get Jason Todd. Nobody liked Jason Todd for some reason.
He became Red Hood, didn't he?
Yeah, he became Red Hood. Nobody liked Jason Todd for some reason. He had attitude. He was kind of a little shitty character. He was actually pretty good in Cataclysm. He started warming up on people. And people hated his character so much that they actually put out in the comics asking people whether or not they would want to, the audience wanted them to kill Jason Todd, the new Robin. And the audience was so crappy that they all voted to kill Jason Todd. And Jason Todd got murdered by the Joker with a crowbar. His head caved in.
Yeah.
And he gets replaced with Tim Drake. And then after Tim Drake became Damian, who was the bastard child of Batman, and Talia al Ghul,
Yeah.
the girl in Dark Knight Rises. And then you have other universe Robins like that redhead and stuff, which are irrelevant.
I was gonna say, there's like, isn't there one called like Stephanie Brown? And
yeah, she's from Dark Knight Returns.
Carrie or something.
Yeah.
If I remember right, Stephanie Brown is the Prowler.
Oh, okay. Regardless, Jason Todd was done dirty, and I hate what how crappy the readers can be. But Damian's not good. I really like Tim Drake. I was a fan of Tim Drake. But then they made him mega gay later, even though he was mega straight.
Yeah.
And then they just made him mega gay.
There is this, it's a pretty funny, it's a webtoon comic. It's called The Wayne Family, and it's basically they have all the Robins assembled together. It's just kind of funny. So they have all those different Robins, like Stephanie, I think.
Damian, Jason, Tim Drake.
I can't think of the one with the red hair's name, but yeah, they have all of them there.
Carrie Kelly is the redhead.
Yeah. I have it kind of lore accurate, I guess. I mean, Tim Drake is super gay in it.
Yeah, he wasn't normally.
Yeah.
No.
Red Hood is in it. He has a moment in it where he's like working on something in the Batcave and he hears some metal scraping across something. He has a PTSD moment and thinks back to the crowbar. And it's like, oh gosh.
Silver's gone down the Batman route, and she's really into Batman now.
Oh yeah.
You've already read some of the best Batman graphic novels. It's great.